Hey everybody! Just checking to make sure I have this. There we go. All right, so that's good. And then let me just get YouTube up on my iPad so I can talk to you. And not only can I talk to you, but I can echo. Okay, so that's up. So I'll just chit chat a little bit as people start to come on. I'm coming on a little bit later tonight than I normally would. So happy Friday. But I'm on just a little bit later because I've had a really lovely day. Our weekend weather in Wisconsin for the Memorial Day weekend is supposed to be really nice. We'll have a little bit of intermittent rain, but the temperatures have been really nice. It was in the like high 60s, very low 70s by me today. And it'll be on Memorial Day here. It's supposed to be like 86, 82 on Sunday. I'm doing a run, just a 5K with my brother and sister-in-law tomorrow that I'm very excited about. So hey Renee, good to see you here. So we normally do one 5K event together a month at least, and with the pandemic out there we couldn't do that because everything has been canceled. So finally the restrictions have been loosened here a little bit. So hey Donna, good to see you, and hello from Illinois. You're my neighbor, kind of, anyway. But with the restrictions that are loosened a little bit, and we're going to be smart, we're going to socially distance and that kind of stuff, because you can do that when you're running, right? Especially since although my sister has been sick, but she works in a hospital. My brother-in-law works for assisted living place. We're assuming he was sick. And I'm a massage therapist. So you guys, the most exciting news this week is I am back to work. And you should be able to tell that if you look at my nails. So goodbye, really pretty nails, but I'm so excited to be back to work. It's been a great week. I worked like a crazy person, but we can talk about that as we go back and forth. So rainy Nebraska. Oh my gosh, Maria, that's crazy. I know we had some rain last weekend that was like that too. So hey Barbara, good to see you too. My nephew actually went to school at the University of Nebraska. So Nebraska has a really fond place in my heart. His wife is actually from Nebraska as well. So that's a really awesome thing in my family. So let's talk about what we're going to do for the layout first, and then we can chit chat about life. So these are two screenshot photos, crazy photos. This is me, and obviously me, and my oldest grandson. And because we couldn't see each other, we've been talking back and forth. We've been messengering or FaceTiming depending on what was going on, and finally his mom set him up on Kids Messenger. So this was the first time we did that. And in case you guys don't know, they have all these crazy little filters, like Snapchat has that, and he loves to put the filters on and send me emojis while we're talking, and it's just really super cute. And this was the first time we used it, so we were doing all sorts of crazy little things. So I wanted to document that because that was definitely part of my experience for during the pandemic, is that he and I had a lot of these kinds of talks. I'm hoping that it continues to go forward because they live a little bit farther. We don't live in the same town. We live about an hour away, but that'll be a nice thing to do. So let me just catch up with hello to Barbara in rainy St. Louis. And then, so she is actually from Lincoln, Maria. Her dad is a professor at the university. So awesome. And that's where my brother went, or my nephew went to school. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, awesome. We have a special place for Nebraska in our heart. So hi Brittany, good to see you on as well. And Renee, where in Minnesota do you live? I lived in suburb of the cities for a while. And I went to school in Wisconsin, and we were only about an hour away from the cities. So I was there a lot. I still have a lot of really close friends from Minnesota because I met them at school. So, oh, I actually know where Grand Island is. So cool. Wonderful. All right, guys. So, and we're supposed to have rain too this weekend, but it's going to be off and on. It's not supposed to be all weekend. Like, we're going to get our run in, and then we're going to go hang out at my sister's for a little bit, get showered, probably in the hot tub for a little bit, and then we're going to go to a winery. So it's a local winery. They're not doing any tastings, but you can buy a bottle, and it's a winery that you can bring snacks in and then hang out. So we will be doing that tomorrow, but socially distancing from everybody else. So, hey, Maria, too, I just thought of another connection to Grand Island because I used to live in New Mexico, and to get from New Mexico to Wisconsin, we used to go by Grand Island, but sometimes we would stay there, and there used to be, and this is in the early 2000s, there used to be a fabulous cocktail lounge that made the most amazing Snickers martinis and that kind of stuff. So I really remember Grand Island. I've been there, actually. So anyway, so crazy photos. And I want to, because this is so fun and colorful, I'm thinking scrapbooking rainbows. And I'm also going to use my Enamel sticker book. And I am going to get a unicorn on this page. It's going to be pink. It's okay, because I'm in the photo too. But I'm thinking I'm going to use some fun stuff from this sticker book for sure. But I definitely want to get one of those. Well, and here's another unicorn. So I need to get some of these unicorns on this page. So... oh, Barbara, Omaha. So I know my nephew used to, that's where he used to take the train home, or a lot of transportation of Omaha too. And I've been through Omaha as well. So because there's a rainbow on here, I'm thinking colorful. So I am toying with either this polka dot page, or for my British friends, spots. I think they call them spots. They're probably all sleeping right now. Or I'm thinking this stripe. All right, so the one thing, I do like the stripe because it seems to ground it a little bit better, but the colors are not as bright and fun. Like, they've toned them down just a little bit, so that like that pink probably wouldn't work as well as I'm looking at it. So I do really, if it wasn't for the color, I think I would choose this paper. And this is Enamel from Field Trip. Oh, I've used this too before. I love this paper. I forgot this was on the back. This is the natural history paper from Field Trip. So I think I'm going to use this paper just because of the bright colors. I think this pink will work better and just kind of fun. And I'm thinking of bringing in, I grabbed this green because I thought it worked really well with the worms here that we were being, lots of ums here. So our weather today, like I said, was pretty nice here, and I went to the garden center, a more expensive but really beautiful garden center near me. Let me tell you what this is, because I haven't done that yet. So this is Enamel's Never Grow Up, the Small Discoveries paper. So I went to a garden center near me today, more expensive, but they have really just awesome stuff. And I found a black Petunia. It was amazing. The purple is so deep it actually looks black, and it looks like black velvet. So that was fun to plant. I have a gardener at heart. My mom still is. And her dad was, although he was more of a vegetable gardener, but green thumbs run in my family. So I spent some time there, and then I went to another place and got a whole bunch of geraniums and planted today. Got dirt on my knees, and I didn't get it in my fingernails because I was using my garden gloves, but man, did that feel good to be outside and doing that today. So that's all done. Normally my mom comes home for the summer to Wisconsin and we get to hang out together, but she will not be doing that this year because she is not allowed to fly. My sister won't let her fly. So, yeah, I am too. Renee, want to see Never Grow Up? This is my folder full of it. So I had bought some to begin with, and then I really loved it. I think it's really a great collection anyway, but especially if you have kids. I mean, Schmel's B-sides are fantastic, right? And so I just ordered a bunch more on scrapbook.com not that long ago because I loved it so much. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to do another paper here. Do I want to get like a blue in here maybe? Because I could do like a little banner here with the blue. I'm also, the paper I really love that I couldn't get any more of is the Woodgrain paper. I like that one a lot too from this collection. I wasn't sure I liked it a lot, and it was on the back side of some, oh, I do have a piece of it. Let's see what we think about that. And I grabbed an orange too, just to see what I would think about that. So this is the Woodgrain, and normally I like my wood grains to look more real. Quote real, yeah, not going with this, but I have to remember this because this needs to go on something. It also has a great leaf pattern on the back that I've used before. But I didn't like it when I saw it in the previews, but when I saw it in real life, I loved it. And then here's the orange paper from that, which is the Dawn Chorus paper. Okay, I'm definitely thinking we're using the blue. So I don't think this does anything to set this off. I think there's too much. This is the ceiling of my scrapbook room, actually. That it's too light. So yeah, I like the blue too, Maria. Well, since you and I like it, let's do it. I think it does a nice job of kind of separating it out. So what I think I'm going to do, I definitely want to see the rainbow, right? Because I'm scrapbooking rainbows. Although I could do it by doing this. But I think I actually like the rainbow the other way. And normally I like my dark colors on the bottom, but with this one, I don't know. I'm liking them on the top tonight. So, hey, Debbie, good to see you. And hey, Jackie, thanks for joining us from Quarantine, Washington State. Yes. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, unfortunately, whichever way you look, Wisconsin is no longer quarantined. And our numbers are, not only are our numbers going up, but our percent positives to total tested are going up, which is the big issue. My sister's a nurse for a big hospital in the Milwaukee area, and so she has taught me lots about how to look at numbers, which is important for me because I am back to work. So I need to make sure clients and me, all of us, are safe. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is justify it this way and do a banner. But I'm also thinking, now how am I going to get the journaling in? Because what I want to call this is new tricks, as in teaching old dogs new tricks. Because it was new. It's so cute because my grandson, who is 7, is so funny. He's like, Grandma, no, do this or do that. And, you know, because he understood how to use kids' messenger is a little bit different than regular messenger, which I do use. So he'd be like, Grandma, do this. And he was actually kind of impatient with me. But when he he frequently will somehow lose the video. I'm not quite sure how he does that. But anyway, so of course Grandma's very patient with him. But it's just funny the way that goes. He's the oldest, and I'm the oldest, so I guess I can say this too. We tend to be less patient. Because we tend to be perfectionists. We're very bad about that. So, all right. That's awesome, Jackie. Yeah, I do love it too. It's been a great way to stay in touch with them. I'm just so glad. Actually, eventually you guys might see these pictures in one way or another, but they actually ordered a bouncy, like a bounce house. Because, so in case you guys don't know this, you know, I don't know who's watching, but I have 4 grandkids, and so they bought a bounce house so that when the weather wasn't so good, it took a while to get it, that they could have something for them to do. And they have this huge sunroom. It came today, and my daughter-in-law sent me photos of the kids in the sunroom in the bounce house. It's crazy. And like even my youngest grandson, who will be 11 months old next week, was in it, in the like the little ball pit, and oh my gosh, I could tell they were having a blast. Okay, I actually really like how this looks, and I think I'm going to bring it down, I guess about halfway here. Normally I would ink edges, but I'm okay with this without the edges inked, so I'm going to leave it. Now, I'm also going to do a little trick that I do not so much with regular banners, but when I do a banner like this, where I have big edges like this, I'll grab my foam tape and cut a bigger piece of it. And then what I like to do, and this has come back and bit me a couple of times when I've done this, but I'm going to do it anyway tonight. And I just pop it under here because that gives the banner a little bit of dimension so that it looks a little bit more banner-like. Now, if you don't love dimension in your layouts, don't do that, or if you like a little bit less dimension. It's not a lot, but it's enough to give it a little bit of a shadow there. Okay, so I said I wanted to scrapbook rainbows tonight, and there it is. So there is a rainbow in the die cut pack for Never Grow Up, and I might have 2 of them because I ordered a second one. I am on a spending freeze. The whole quarantine was not so good for that, and actually there's 2 rainbows here as well. So I'm going to grab this and open it up because maybe I'll use that instead. And we do need to get our unicorn friend in here, right? Because I have these 3 unicorns and I haven't used them yet. There's some awesome, actually, white hearts that I've never even noticed before, too. So, okay, so I am missing my awesome fingernails. It's a little bit harder to grab things. All right, I'm going to grab some of, you might have 3 of the florals. Okay, that's awesome. I did not order a second floral, but I have the Bloom Street florals as well right now. Chamel's florals are great. Actually, 3 florals make sense with that, too. Okay, so I'm just going to put that down there so I don't forget. And that's kind of nice that it's down here towards the rest of the pink. And I do have another unicorn here. This one could be put on some white paper, which I'm not... oh, and there's a rainbow, too, you guys. I'm not such a fan of the clear stickers like this that come in. I know Chamel isn't either. She made a remark in one of her lives just not that long ago, and it was using this sticker book. But what I do when I do this is I'll put them on white paper. Okay, Debbie, that makes me laugh. Seriously. Oh, Maria, I'm glad I'm not alone. I haven't spent a ton, really, but since I was on a freeze, I felt a little bit bad. Now, my freeze is not a financial freeze, although not working the last 8 weeks, it would make sense that I wasn't spending a ton, but it was more of a stash freeze, so that's what I've been really calling it, because I have so much stuff. And if you have a lot of stuff and it works for you, awesome. It did for me for a while, and then I started to see like collections would come out, and I wasn't all that excited about them. And I think part of it is because I had so much stuff. So, all right, I just saw a sticker in here that I love that says Your Pure Magic, and I think I'm going to use this somewhere because This boy is pure magic. Of course he is, right? He's my grandson. We all think that. Oh, I like the way that looks right there, actually. I'm going to go grab some white cardstock. And I keep, anytime I use white cardstock with offcuts, or if I'm cutting die cuts, which I tend to do with white cardstock, I just save my scraps, because then I can do stuff like this with them, or I can make, when I'm making a card, I can make a sentiment banner out of it, that kind of stuff. Okay, might as well, well, actually, I'm going to wait on that, because I don't know where that's going to go for sure yet. And I could grab a punch. This might work with a punch, but why do that when you can attempt to cut a circle, right? And I'm not doing a very good job cutting the circle, guys. It should be easier because it's a sticker on top, but that is not always true. I'm okay, though. I'm okay with it, though. The other thing that is a little interesting that I just realized is a lot of times when I have a pattern like I'm working with right now, where the pattern, the best way I can describe it is that it goes off the edges and it like doesn't have a stopping point. A lot of times I want to make it have a stopping point, and I'm going to cut this sticker a little bit too. There's a lot of white on this sticker. And what a lot of times I want to do is contain it. So I will put a border, like a border frame around it. So, okay, so let's see. Barbara's confessing to some cover sets, and you need 7 more and adhesive. Okay, awesome. I think I'm in good company, you guys. Thanks for making me feel better. All right. I love that we're all confessing. And you know, heck, I don't know about you guys, but I scrapbooked a lot. So my final total was 206 layouts while I was off. So I used up a lot of product. Certainly not enough in, you know, to use up my scrapbook room worth of product, but yeah. I think I said the other night, you know, I store my paper in folders like this from, and this one actually needs to go away now that I look at it because it's kind of wrecked. But these are Cropper Hopper paper envelopes, and I've used up 8 of them since I started when I was off work. So I guess I can buy some stuff, right? All right, so we have the Pure Magic here. We have our unicorn that I need to put on here somewhere. It'll be funny if I don't get him on here, right? I'm thinking I need something to journal on. I don't have a lot of space over here, so I don't know that the 3x4 card is the answer. I'm going to take a look here. I like the journaling spots for Never Grow Up, but I find them harder to use for some reason. Not quite sure about why that is. There is a green one in here that I like. So I'll grab that and see what I think. We need a little something other than pink in here. I don't have a problem putting boy stuff in there. So by the way, you know, obviously that's a lot. 206 is a lot. But part of the reason I did that too is that when I also have a problem using speech bubbles, you guys. When I just lost my train of thought. Sorry, I was reading and oh, I know. So speech bubbles, not a big fan of speech bubbles. So a lot of times I tuck the bubble part under, you know, this part underneath something. So that might work up there. I also thought maybe it could go down here, and we could put our little unicorn guy on there. I mean, this is so funny because I'm so inspired by that unicorn, and I'm thinking he's further and further and further away. So, oh, okay. That's awesome, Renee, that you have an LSS in Minnesota still. I don't have any in the town I live in, but there are a couple in Milwaukee, which I don't live too far from. I get there at least once a month. My grandkids live in a suburb of Milwaukee with their parents. They don't live there by themselves. Renee, where in Minnesota do you live? Just because I have lived in Minnesota and I went to school in Minnesota. Or I'm sorry, I do feel like I went to school in Minnesota because it was on the border, but I went to school near Minnesota and we used to go to the cities for fun. All right. Oh, I'm really not liking the unicorn, you guys. Oh my goodness. The cities. Okay, so I lived in Mounds View, if that helps when I lived there. I'm sure it will help. You will know where that is. I worked in Minneapolis, but I lived in Mounds View. Okay. That's okay. Not my favorite. I also still have some of these journaling cards. I'm toying with maybe tucking these in somewhere. I feel like I need something a little bit bigger on the, like a bigger presence. I should not have cut that banner quite as quickly as I did. And I was a little afraid when I did it that this is what was going to happen, is that I was going to decide I wanted a big, some sort of big journaling card, and then it wouldn't work. And the reason I'm thinking about this, I know exactly where Anoka is. I have a really good friend who lives in Anoka. So that makes sense for me with the, if I put that big journaling card in. I also, you guys know me well enough to know that I have a whole boatload of Ellie Studio stuff here, so. And I probably need space because this is a big story to tell. Yeah, I so wish I had not cut that. Okay. Make it work though, right? There are no mistakes, there are just creative opportunities. Now, I think I said earlier that I'm a firstborn, and we don't tend to work with that very well, but I'm going to make it work today. Okay, I think this will be good. Tuesday mornings. Oh, that's awesome. I am so waiting for Tuesday morning around here to open up because I've seen some people say that they have gotten some Enamel goodies at Tuesday morning. So I'm waiting. I think they're about to open up in Wisconsin. They're not yet, but they're about there. Okay, so guess what? I made it work. It's fine. This guy needs to go maybe up here somewhere, but I think I need the title. I definitely want the Your Pure Magic on here because I think it's really cute and it's so true about him. He's such a good big brother. And I do want to be able to see, do you see these guys? So these are the little, if you don't know, if you haven't used Kids Messenger, these are the little things you tap to get the crazy filters that we're working with. So I want to be able to see that. So let's put this down. And that will help me figure out where those need to go. There we go. And maybe what I'll do is pop this unicorn up on some foam tape. Get a little more dimension there. So if you're, thanks Brittany. Thanks Renee. Yes, the unicorn did get on the layout. I was going to be really disappointed in myself if I didn't make that work. And look at this. We're going to have two. And we're going to have not just a unicorn on the layout, but we're having pink unicorns on boy layouts. which I'm really okay with. Yeah, there's so many boys in my life to scrapbook. Sometimes you just have to let the pink and boys let go. My poor granddaughter, someday she's going to think I'm crazy because all of her layouts are really pink and purple. Okay, so there's that. I'm thinking I need to get a title on this because if I don't, I'm not sure. This needs to go somewhere. I'm not sure where that is yet. I'm thinking, let's see. Definitely not there. We'll get that figured out. That's up there, but let's get a title on here. And I'm thinking maybe a green across the top here, because it's pulling that green from that. So let's look at some green. That's a good green for that. And so is that, but that's kind of a big alpha. And I have another one that might work as well. I think this is too big scale-wise up here. Yeah, that'll take over the layout. So we're not going to use that one. This one I like. Yes, so this is the Eclair alphabet, and I love this so much I have more than one of them. So let's try this. And it's a little more spring green than the green wave paper is here, but I like that. That's okay. And I think I'm going to justify, watch me live dangerously. You guys know how that works when I don't put my titles on the wax paper first. Wax paper, or I can't remember, there's a name for it, kitchen paper, I think. If you're not in the US. Okay. So I'm just going to call this New Tricks, and I'll talk about Old Dog New Tricks here. This gives me some good journaling room. And maybe I'll bring in another little label or two. I could probably use something down here yet to get the date in so that I don't have to use that there. And this is bugging me already looking at that. So we're going to tuck that in there. Okay, so W, live dangerously. That's funny, Renee. You obviously have not met me. I do need to live dangerously. You can see already it's way too far that way. But I will take a look and see what I think. And I did think about calling it, putting Old Dogs as a subtitle up here, but I think I'm not going to do that. I think I'll just leave it as it is. So flowers are in. I have a run planned. I have some really awesome vegetables. Okay, Renee, that makes me laugh. So you guys, Renee, if you're not reading her comment, or if you don't understand her comment, she said add more stuff. And she spelled it M-O-A-R, which is definitely a Chamel thing. And so I'm using Chamel. I love Chamel because I think our styles are similar. I would never say they're the same, though, because she is way too awesome a scrapbooker. But they are similar in layering and embellishing and that kind of stuff. And maybe this is going to actually turn out okay in the end. So thank you for the encouragement to live dangerously. I do love the letters in these because some of them have fun stuff like that N and this K, so that'll be kind of a cute little addition. And they're foam so that you can bend them around. Yeah, I have not watched her video from today, but I will do that at some point. Okay, I better have another S in here. I didn't look, but I do. I actually think these alphas are either at Michael's or Joann's. I don't remember. This is a clear alpha. Oh, or Hobby Lobby. Maybe one of those. Okay. New Tricks. And it's justified way to the left. And part of what's going on here now is I'm thinking it's feeling a little weighty to me to this side, because it is. It's all weighted to that side, right? So we're going to get that down. Back to Renee's point, I can add stuff at the end. So that's what we're going to do, right? And then they have these awesome green sparkle asterisks there that I might add into. Sometimes when I have an alpha like that, I like to pull the color into other portions. We'll see. Because this guy, we could do it down here somewhere. You have to be careful with animals, though, because if you put it here, it doesn't look so good, right? That's a Friday night funny. But I'll think that every so often. Nope, I can't put that there. Okay, so I think I'm going to wait a little bit and figure out what I need to do up here. I think this might be a great place for an extra label because just to add that date. I talked about doing that. So let's see what we have in the LE Studio box here. That's too big, but that could also go down here. Although I think I want to do pink there, right? Because it's in the pink area. I'm glad you guys are laughing. All right. So there's this label. I got ink on it, so I could tuck it here, but okay. So this is a good, I try to, when I don't do things, certain things, or when I do things, I like to kind of let you guys in on why that is. So with this one, this actually looks pretty good there. It's a little lined up with here, but I can switch that. The reason I don't care for it is because it is, I love you guys all laughing, it's cream. And it's the only cream thing on here. This background is so white. I think if I put cream on it, it's just not, even if I add it like down here, it will never look right. When you're using cream and white together, you can do that, but you need to get the cream. Look at this. Here's a date sticker. You need to get the cream added in a couple of different places, or the white, whatever you're adding in later. Well, later, or whatever, like, is this the piece that you're adding later where you're only adding one thing. Like if I put that in, I would have needed to add the cream to another spot, a couple of spots, if that makes any sense. So I have done it before. That's one of those things that I've talked about this before, that you can break all the rules you want. You just need to know that you're breaking a rule and why you're doing it. Okay, so I still think that this is not, maybe I need turquoise. I think that's what it is. The blue is disappearing here. I just need a good turquoise label here. And I think I'm going to tuck it, actually. Tuck it and cut it if I need to. Yeah, Jackie, I love white and cream together on winter layouts. Definitely. They look beautiful together. You just have to be really intentional when you're using them together. That's another one of those cases I talk about, that kind of thing every so often, where if something doesn't look right to you, that might be another one of those cases of why it doesn't, is that when you've used cream and white together. But yeah, cream and white together are gorgeous. Okay, you get to see my wet, not very, well, my wet, I need a highlight, and I haven't styled my hair yet. So one of the things that, for me, because I'm a massage therapist, that has definitely changed about work is I wear a mask all day. Not the same one. I change, if not every client, every other client. It depends on how I'm feeling. And it's not so bad. I think it's one of those things that I went into it with a mindset that this is the new normal for me, at least for now. So it's not too bad. I'm not having many problems breathing. At the first 5 minutes or so is not as pleasant, but it's okay. And then my hair is back because I can't, masks are really tough when your hair is not back. Oh, look, this cute heart, this purple heart. I'm going to see if I can add this in here. But anyway, so the good news is that with the way, when I pull my hair back, people can't really tell how bad my color is. So my hairstylist is a really close friend of mine, and I just told her not to worry about me, that I was going to be working a lot and that I'd get back to her, so I won't have a cut and color until sometime in late June. I guess it's mid-June really. But I had a pedicure on Thursday, and my nail salon was fantastic about the precautions they were taking. And I have a brow wax, which is actually the worst of all of, well, maybe not. Our weather's going to be nice, so I needed to be in sandals, so I really needed a pedi, and the brow wax is a big deal for me. So I can't see to pluck my own eyebrows anymore. All right, so I actually like the way this little heart looks. It just gets a little purple in here. So we'll get there. I'm just going to use this is my quick dry adhesive in my fine line bottle here. And with the way I'm squeezing it, it is having a hard time coming out. So I need to put some more in. So I just thought of something, you guys. You know, I do a series with Rachel Reynolds on Stash Bash, because we both put ourselves on spending stash freezes, really. And that series is going to discontinue for a little bit. Life has kind of gotten in the way for Rachel a bit. And if you want to know what that's about, if you don't follow her, go follow her, because she's awesome. But she just put a video out earlier in the week and talked a little bit about life and what's going on and that kind of stuff with her. But I still think I'm going to do some sort of stash layout and not call it Stash Bash. Just do it. Just use stash and maybe throw a challenge out there for myself. And then when life settles down for her, then we'll hopefully pick up on that again. But if you haven't seen that, go check that out. So if you've enjoyed that series, I just thought about that as I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next for that, or do next. Normally that comes out on the 1st. So I'll do some sort of stash layout once a month. All right, I need to get something down here, and there's a lot of pink down here. I just realized that. So that might be a little big. Maybe like a yellow label. Except these have lines on them, and I like them. Some of when I did those printables with Ellie's Studio, some of them have lines and some of them don't. So I'm thinking maybe a little bit of yellow down here. I actually like that one. Still way, the balance is still way to the left here. And I may decide to do something about that, and I may not. I'm going to get the embellishments kind of mostly done and then see if I want to change anything there. Okay, so I have to pick this up a little bit and just get this underneath. Okay. Across there, and I'll probably put the date right on this one just because it's pretty thin. And I do actually remember the date. You know how I like to have to pick up my photos when I'm scrapbooking. Okay. There we go. All right, looking pretty good. I think I'm going to leave him alone. I'll use some enamel dots scattered around. Oh, and then I had those little green asterisks here. I especially think I need it here to bring some green down, because the green, there's a green here, there's a green here. You can even see green over here, kind of, that relates to that. So I think that will be nice to have that little bit of green there. And I'm going to grab just a tiny, I have this dish that this was actually my grandmother's, which is really cool. And it has a little Irish saying on it. I'm Irish. My grandmother was not, but she had it. So somebody brought this to her with shamrocks on it. So I have it, and I just keep, like, if I forget to put something away, I'll keep them there, or something I want to use, I'll do that kind of stuff. So I also put my spare pieces, my cutoff pieces of my foam tape right there. So, and the cool part is then I get to bring my grandmother scrapbooking with me. All right, so we're going to grab this little piece, and what I'm going to do, I want to support this just a little bit more right here. This might be too big. Nope, because it's going to make it. That because of that sticker wasn't supported there, that wasn't staying down very well. Now it's being really sassy. And what I'm doing here, there's a reason I place this here, that I talk about crossing layers all the time, so I'm crossing 3 layers. So that's why I put that one there. Oh, thanks, Barbara. That's really sweet. Okay, and I think maybe I should put another one of those asterisks here, because that brings a green there, and then we have a nice little bit of a little triangle there. And then let's get some enamel dots in here. I'm feeling like we need some dark down here, so maybe navy, if I can find it down here. That blue's not quite right. I know I have navy somewhere. Here's my enamel dots, guys. I should have navy, right? Okay. As I'm talking to you, my sister's texting me because she wants to do a garage sale tomorrow with kids' items and boys' clothes, which is really bad because we both have grandsons. That is bad, bad, bad. Those of you who are grandmas understand that. Okay. Looking for my yellow, or here we go. There's my navy enamel dots. So let's do some navy. Let's do some navy first. Just get a couple of those here. So we'll do 3 of those. And then let's see, color up here. I'm actually thinking I'm going to stick with navy. I do like to, if I have polka dot layouts every so often, I've done things where I've used, if it's a big polka dot, I've used buttons kind of spread out as enamel dots, or I've used enamel dots and put them kind of attached to a polka dot like that. Something I just like. Okay, so we'll do that, and then maybe, yeah, I think that's going to look okay here. I think we're going to bring the triangle up here, though, because that's on here. So that'll kind of get included as one sort of visual triangle there. Okay. All right, so that looks good. I think we're good. And I made that work in the end over here. And not only did I get that unicorn that inspired kind of me to start thinking about some of this, I got a second unicorn on there. Yay. And we got scrapbook rainbows. Shamel has a little hashtag right now called scrapbook rainbows, because gosh knows we all need a little bit more rainbow right now, right? I just found an H stuck to me. I'm not quite sure how that happened. Crazy. So, yeah, I do like to, that is a technique that I like to use every so often, is to kind of throw a banner in. Just, I don't know, I'll do it sometimes from the top and sometimes from the side, probably more often from the side than the top. Just kind of fun. So, hey Maria, thanks. I've been doing live streams on Fridays lately. I'm going to try to keep up with one a week, but now that I'm back to work and things are starting to open up here, I'm starting to cautiously see a few friends, not many. My sister said to me, you need to keep your circle to 5 for a while. So I'm starting to see a few friends. So I might actually be a little bit more social than I have for the last couple of months, but I definitely want to try to do at least one live stream. I have fun doing that, especially just, because I'm living alone right now. So that's kind of fun. My mom normally comes back with me in the summer, and she's probably not going to this summer. So, which is a little sad for us, but we do this thing to tell you a little bit about life. And I do have just a little cocktail tonight. I poured a little Tanqueray and tonic because it's warm here when I came down to scrapbook. But my mom and I do this fun thing that during the summers when we were together that we called Porch Time, where we have a really beautiful front porch that we go sit on our porch and we'd have a glass of wine and read our books and just talk at the end of the day, usually on a weekend. And we really miss that now because normally she'd be home right now. And so I texted her last night and I said, porch time? And we did. It was a little chilly here last night for porch time for me, but we both poured a glass of wine and talked for about an hour and a half, and it was kind of nice. So that's one really cool way we're staying connected. But I definitely miss her, as I'm sure all of you are missing different people as well too. So anyway, I'm loving how this came out. It's very rainbowy and very bright and kind of fun and that kind of stuff. And I'm not sure who's getting this because I do a scrapbook for yeah, Renee. Porch Time is very awesome. I do, I've talked about this before. I've done scrapbooks for my grandkids, and then I keep scrapbooks for myself. So I'm not sure who's getting this, but maybe because I'm calling it Old Dog, I might actually, or New Tricks, the Old Dog New Trick thing, which I think I'll put that in here actually. I think I'll probably keep it in my album for at least a little while because actually, now that I think about it, I forgot what album this is going in. This is going in my pandemic album because during that time, we the messengering thing and that kind of stuff was a big thing for the two of us. I forgot that I pulled this out of my COVID album, or I'm calling it my pandemic album, but it's during this time where we were all being socially distant and quarantined and isolated or whatever it happened to be. I have an album going on that I talked about last week actually. So I forgot about that. That's where this is going. It's going in that because this is something that was very unique to this time. I'm hoping we continue with this, but it will be. So my album's coming along pretty well. I'm kind of excited about it. I maybe have I don't know, about a quarter of the pages done. I don't have all the pictures printed yet, so I probably got about a quarter of the pages done, and I will definitely show you guys that when I'm done, and you'll probably keep seeing me scrapbooking photos from that just because I don't have that many other photos because I scrapbooked all those layouts before. So all right, you guys, it was great chatting with you tonight. I think that's it for the night. Hope you guys are all well. That I know there's lots of different rules depending on what state you're in, or country you're in, because we have international people here as well too. But I hope you guys are all well and hanging in there, and that you're all safe. So take care. Have a great weekend, because I know there's holidays more than just Memorial Day in the U.S. There are holidays. This is a holiday weekend in other countries as well too. So bye, you guys. Take care. Thanks for joining in.